Welcome to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss science fiction, fantasy, cooking, the outdoors, and more. Hollywood's nightmare. From Netflix's stock swoon to mass layoffs, anxiety is gripping the entertainment industry. This is a headline from yesterday's Variety, and it's not surprising given what's been going on with Netflix's stock plunge that I've already been talking about in some other videos. Fear and loathing are on the rise in Hollywood as top execs and rank-and-file employees grapple with growing uncertainty about their place in a rapidly changing entertainment industry. One pervasive concern, that the streaming-fueled content bubble has finally burst, with more consolidation on the way. That's what it's looking like. Wall Street darling Netflix lost $54 billion in market value in one day last month amid concerns about a slide in subscriber numbers and promptly reorganized its marketing department once again, axing writers on its fledgling Tudum fan site 5 months after launch. Yeah, I did a video on that just the other day. And the fallout from the Warner Brothers Discovery merger and Amazon's acquisition of MGM has gotten underway, with top exec Michael DeLuca exiting the latter April 27th and squashed initiatives at the former. Neither the disrupted nor the disruptors are feeling too good these days. Well, that's good because the pain should be spread between those who are on the receiving end and those who are starting to dish this stuff out. We're all waiting on pins and needles for someone to pull the figurative trigger on the inevitable restructuring, says a Warner Brothers Discovery staffer, no doubt aware that the $3 billion in cost-saving synergies CEO David Zaslav has promised is really just corporate code for layoffs. Yeah, that's generally what that means. And that's not limited to the entertainment industry. That's industry-wide. The exec pulled the plug on CNN Plus less than a month after it launched, and the company has since begun pulling back TNT and TBS's unscripted content, moves that will likely lead to job losses. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. 2022 will undoubtedly be a messy year. Warner Brothers Discovery Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Wiedenfels told Wall Street analysts on April 26th while discussing the company's most recent quarterly earnings. Abrupt strategy pivots such as the CNN Plus closure have added to the growing unease around Hollywood. Netflix, known for its Hunger Games ethos, didn't waste time on niceties while killing writer contracts April 28th. And those writers had only been there for a few months. And according to the video and the article I was doing the other day, a number of them had just received promotions. My manager explained the layoff to me via text after she'd already been let go, says an axed worker, one of many who prefer to remain anonymous. We realized something was wrong when her Slack appeared deactivated. Yeah, that's generally a sign these days that someone is gone. In the agency world, two of the biggest outfits, CAA and ICM, are merging, with one insider saying that the level of nervousness among those agents who don't have a strong book of business is at fever pitch. It's inevitable when you have consolidation that people are feeling vulnerable, says a top entertainment lawyer. Anytime there's some kind of a merger or a consolidation of some kind, it's always going to lead to layoffs somewhere, and it can hit anybody. You know, people who've been there a long time may be among those that go because their salaries are going to be higher than a lot of other people's. Of course, it depends on the position and what they're doing. But, you know, it's like when Discovery did finally merge with Warner Media, a lot of top executives were, well, it wasn't clear whether they left voluntarily or if Zaslav, fired them. That was an unknown. Netflix's swoon is being greeted with some schadenfreude, particularly among executives at legacy studios who had grown tired of hearing about how algorithms had made the traditional greenlight process, built on gut instincts, obsolete. However, the reality is that the fundamental problems bedeviling the streaming service namely a maturing business and increased competition, spell trouble for nearly every other Hollywood player. Disney, Comcast, Paramount Global, and Warner have all moved aggressively into the streaming space to stave off cord-cutting declines and demonstrate their ability to evolve. Now, Wall Street has serious questions about Hollywood's long-term financial viability. We think the industry is facing a point of no return in which the economics of the old models look increasingly frail, while the potential of the brave new world now appears overly hyped, wrote Robert Fishman, an analyst with MoffettNathanson, on May 2nd. Ramped-up streaming initiatives have been a boon for creators in recent years. Every week, it seems, some new showrunner has been lured to Netflix, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, or any other service with a mathematical symbol in its moniker, with the promise of a mega deal or a multi-episode order. Film and TV writers are worried that they're going to see a slowdown in work amid rumblings of significant Netflix belt-tightening and questions about the future of DC entertainment under new corporate ownership. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of what Zaslav plans to axe with DC. He won't tolerate things that aren't making money. Netflix couldn't keep growing forever, so now it seems like they finally hit their limit, and they will have to be more careful in how they do things, one agent says. In a sign of just how serious Netflix is about trimming content expenditures, on May 1st, news broke that Pearl, an animated series developed by none other than Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Archewell Prods, had been canned. Not even the Duchess of Sussex is immune to the pressures of economizing. Many economists fear that a recession is on the horizon if inflation proves to be intractable. To make matters worse, geopolitical tensions are making major international markets, such as China, nearly impossible to access. And the COOF has turned into a franchise that won't stop cycling through reboots and sequels. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Last week, Discovery informed staff at recently acquired brands that they had to work in the office at least 2 days a week beginning in May. The short notice rattled many staffers. Says one insider, a lot of Warner Media people think they're just going back into the office for the first time in 2 years to be fired by someone they have never met. Yeah, that's really kind of sad, and I definitely feel for people who have that level of anxiety because I know what it feels like to get laid off. So yeah, it's not a pleasant situation. And it's really hard to tell how this is all going to play out. You know, people who've been in this industry for years, this is, I'm sure some of the older ones have seen something like this in the past, but newer ones, this may be something new for them to deal with. But we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. Thank you for watching today, and thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button below, and please feel free to share a comment. If you would like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please subscribe right now by clicking on the red subscribe button below. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.